So how are y'all?
Welcome to episode 63, folks. This is Thursday, and it is Thorsday. Holy shit, it is so meta. I can't even stand it. We have oh my god, we have a couple people with us. We don't have Chris with us right now. He's apparently having a slow waitress, and also Edwin is seeing. Allegedly, he might be out because his home team won last night, but it says he's at Thor Ragnarok, so we'll let him slide this week. But we do have two folks with us. You'll notice we have Adam, Comically Flawed, with us tonight, joining us on the panel, and of course Justin, Exile State Comics, is with us. So
What's up?
Doing the show till Chris gets here. So like I said, it's Thursday. It's the eve of Thor Ragnarok, arguably what will be one of the biggest movies of this year. It's supposed to make, and we'll talk about it a little bit in a few minutes, but it's projected to make upwards of 400 million internationally by the end of the weekend, which is amazing, right? So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So pretty cool Thursday. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about. We also did the poll over on my Twitter page, and we actually had a tie between two books. One was Batman White Knight #2, and also Dead Man #1, which is actually the 5th volume. So we have had a few #1s of Dead Man, but most recent one by Neil Adams was voted on. So stick around if you want to hear what we thought about those two books. So that's coming up, or one or the other. We'll let you know. But first, as we always do, why don't we go around the panel here and talk about what we've been doing since we spoke with Steve last week. Want to kick it off, Justin?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. Yeah, what did I do? Let's see. I had Sunday Morning Comics and showed off a whole bunch of books that I got, including this pristine, not really, but decently, whatever. It's like a 5. It's like a 5. Journey into Mystery 116. I was very proud of it. So.
All right, nice. I remember you said that's your earliest Thor now, right?
That is now my earliest Thor.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very cool going into the shop, and because I went for it was Halloween. It was the Comic Fest day. That's when I went, and I asked them. I'm like, can I look at some of the Journey into Mysteries that were up there? And they're like, hold on, let me go get the long box. And they go get like the expensive long box with Journey into Mystery and like some other stuff in it. And I'm just like, crap. Now I'm gonna look at things that I can't buy.
But you're spending future money in your head.
Oh yeah. Now I'm already planning. Don't worry, it's coming.
Sweet.
So good fun stuff. I'm gonna go see Thor tomorrow night. I was thinking about going to like a late Thursday showing tonight, but I don't think it's gonna work out. So yeah, I'll go tomorrow night. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Pump.
Right, cool. All right.
$4 billion in one weekend. It's gonna be crazy, guys.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's Asgardian money. So when it translates to US, it's not as much. All right. Comically Flawed. Show once again. This is like your 4th appearance, I think, on the show.
Yeah, appreciate you having me having me on. Second string coming in off the bench. So no, it's been going good. I definitely enjoyed the show last week with Steve from CBCS. That was entertaining and informative both, for sure. This week, I'm actually been very slack. I haven't even picked up my books this week. Things went sideways at work a few days. And then been watching a lot of the World Series, playing catch up on the CW shows. Everybody knows, or a lot of people y'all know, I did a mad run through like all the seasons of all the shows over the course of like 2 or 3 months. So I'm caught up to the current season, but I've been basically, instead of watching them during the week, like watching them on the weekends. And then got going on Stranger Things. I did not binge it out. I had every intention to, but I'm about 3 episodes in. So that's going good. And then Thor tomorrow is the goal, to go see that hopefully tomorrow evening. And contribute my $27.50 or whatever a ticket costs these days to go to the movie, to hopefully push the total up to exactly what I predicted when we put our totals in.
You want to win, huh?
Exactly. I need 124 million, I think.
I'm cool if it stops at 122.5.
Nice.
And maybe a little change, but it's cool. All right, awesome. Sounds like you had a busy week. Cool. So I guess you know what I've been up to. I did Halloween Comic Fest. Obviously, went out to that. That was a lot of fun. You know, picked up some cool books from that. You know, always fun to be at the shop there. You know what I mean? So that was a good time. I got home from work last Friday and pretty much put on Stranger Things right away. Watched a few episodes, fell asleep, woke up at probably 2, 3 in the morning and watched maybe one more episode. Woke up Saturday morning and killed it off. Watched all 9 by Saturday morning. So it was cool. I was glad to do that. So my only gripe with that was that there wasn't more episodes to watch.
Wow.
So yeah,
you got one more than last season.
True. And I didn't watch the Beyond Stranger Things stuff. They have some extra stuff when you're done with it, kind of like Talking Dead type of stuff. So I didn't watch that yet, but yeah. Hopefully in a week or 2 we can talk about that a little bit more, because that was something I definitely want to talk about. Like that show, most people do. Let's see what else. Thor Ragnarok. My plans for that are probably tomorrow. I want to see that tomorrow. Yeah, so hopefully if all goes according to plan, I'll see it tomorrow. So there's that. And Chris is stuck in traffic, so he'll be along. So we'll find out what he's been up to pretty soon here. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the topics. But before we do that, we got to shout out some folks in the chat. Great Legend Show is here. He has an auction coming up, I believe, this weekend, right?
Yes,
So, huge panel for that. A lot of really good folks who are going to be on that. So I'm super excited to, join in the chat and, hang out there. So if you are free Saturday evening, is that correct?
Yeah, you need the air horn siren sound, since the Warriors are going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And my Warriors invading Great Legend Show.
I think it's 10 East, 9 Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so definitely check that out. It's always a good time. Tons of people in the chat, a lot of fun. Even if you don't buy something, you know what I mean? Just hang out with us. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Well, and you can always bid on things, and then they go higher, and then they keep going higher.
That's right.
Get sad.
If you want to help someone make a couple extra bucks, bid up the book.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So get Gomez here as well. Let me tell you something about Gomez. He is, every time I'm in a chat, there's Gomez. He's always there. He's one of the most supportive, coolest dudes we have going in the chats. He's always there, doing the tag videos, the community support videos. He did the Halloween one where he was dressed up, pretty freaky there. So definitely, check out Gomez's channel as well. A lot of good stuff going on over there. Comics Corner Club, nice to have you here with us as well. We have Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars podcast. That's right up my alley, guys. Nice. Love me some Star Wars. Great show, too. So anybody I'm talking about right now, you got to check out their channels. I'm not just saying that just to say it. There's some legit good stuff with these folks here. So
real easy. Just hit the 3 little dots beside their name.
That's right. All right, we got Jackio as well with us. Jackio is always with us. And then I saw NES Master. I'm skipping a couple people, but he asked me a question, or actually asked everybody a question about Valiant. We do, and I just said Jackio. That's why I'm skipping over to that. There are some folks here who do really like Valiant. There's some amazing titles, amazing stories, amazing art with Valiant. If you guys aren't checking out Valiant, you have to. But the book he was talking about was Eternity. And that was on our list from last week for people to vote on. It was between that book and, what was it, Thor, Where Walk the Frost Giants?
Yep.
And Thor won. But, I did get to read Eternity, and it was pretty cool. I got the cover A. I know there was some ratio variance. He said one's going for $150 already, so didn't get that. I got the cover A. So that's NES Master 80. We also have Iron Galactus. Apparently he's pre-gaming. I haven't heard from him since, so he must have been doing that pretty hard.
Hardcore pre-gaming.
That's right. That's right. And of course, Jeff G is with us as well. So nice to have. Oh, and Philly Superman. How could I forget? Comic Frontline, guys. Check out Comic Frontline all the time, but especially check them out on Tuesdays.
And we got Brian Spaceboy also.
Brian Space. Oh yes, there he is. Brian Spaceboy 227. Very good.
Glad to have everybody here.
That's right. Everybody, sub everybody. All right, we have a Spidey fan as well, who actually
showed up. Man, it keeps going.
I know.
Keep going,
guys. I love that you're showing up, but I can't stop shouting people out. You know what I mean? Right here.
Spidey fan had a fun auction and show off and gave away some books the other night.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't catch it live, but I was able to watch it like throughout like a couple days. I had to take a break there, so, but because it was like a couple hours long, you know what I mean? But I did get to watch it. Like really good, like good presentation. You know, talking about the books, like really cool giveaways, like some of the books that were. There was one I know, the magic one. You know, I like that one, right? But yeah, really good books from that, and that was a cool show. So I hope he continues with that. I guess that was his first time kind of going live, you know what I mean? So it was cool to
was
see
that the one that Seeking Near Mint was on also?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he did a lot of giveaways. That was crazy.
That's right. Yeah. He's a good guy. If you guys haven't watched Spidey Fan or you know anything, check out his channel. I'm sounding repetitive right now, but you know what? These folks have the JLS seal of approval. All right.
You should come up with a real seal.
Yeah. Stamp. All right, cool. So let's jump into the topics then. Let's go ahead and start with the first thing, which is, of course, Thor. It's Thorsday. Internationally, Thor is right up next to 110 million in the international markets, which is amazing. The exact number is 109,086,216 was the last count I saw.
So
Sounds
like
about
no
right.
ticket.
That's very specific, right? And it's actually outpacing Homecoming for pre-ticket sales as well.
Nice.
So yeah, this movie is going to be a monster. I'm telling you. The only movies, and we've talked about this a couple times, that have done well are really like the superhero movies, right? The Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, and everything. So there hasn't really been a big hit throughout the summer. It's been kind of dry for the box office. So the next couple months are like really geared towards, well, 3 movies, but you know, being like huge. The next 3 big movies, which obviously Thor, Justice League, and Last Jedi, they're counting on to pretty much save the year in terms of you know, sales and performance. So yeah, this movie is gonna be a monster.
Yeah, and I don't see that steam running out anytime soon. I mean, it just seems like as long as they don't make absolute crap, I'm looking at you, DC, people will go see it. You know what I mean? And that, like you said, they're kind of counting on that to offset all the garbage that they put off the rest of the year and make up those profits. But yeah, I don't necessarily. I mean, people keep saying that is the superhero movie thing going to burn out? Are people going to get tired of it? And it doesn't really seem to be losing any steam.
No, exactly.
They had parts of Atlanta, like the interstate near downtown tonight, are shut down right now for Avengers filming. So
sweet.
Pretty cool that it's going on, man. And that, I mean, same thing that Adam's saying there. Like, these movies so far, for the most part, the Marvel movies have been good. Like, we got some Fox stuff going on, some Sony stuff, you know, whatever. But for the most part, Marvel as a whole, it's been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a ton to really complain about. You get excited to see those movies each time they come out. DC's like on that like kind of fence where you're hopeful that it's going to be awesome, but if it's not, then you're just like, well, I told you so. You know? So it's kind of it kind of goes like hand in hand with one of those things.
Exactly. The funny thing with DC movies is like even when they're like panned or like, you know, critically not acclaimed, for lack of a better way to put it, they still bring in like $600-800 million, you know? Like that was the thing with Suicide Squad. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was up near like 800 million. But like, try to find someone who liked it.
Yeah, exactly. And that ain't nothing. That's a chunk of change.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but a lot of their things, like they're throwing things at us. Like they threw Batman versus Superman at us. You know what I'm saying? Like they put that as a title. That alone is going to bring people in. Justice League is going to bring people in because it's Justice League. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Okay, it's going to happen for DC, but they're like phase 2. That's when we're going to see whether or not people are sticking in, or if the like newness of it is worn off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Since you mentioned that, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So there's talk about the Flashpoint movie. What apparently Justice League or Warner Brothers is waiting on is to see how Justice League performs, to kind of decide on the direction for that. Now, I don't think that they're not going to not make a Flashpoint movie. That's like such a good story. You know what I mean? Maybe for a second Flash movie, but that's for another time. But I think it's to kind of decide whether they want to reset the universe or not. Like, you know, if Justice League does well, they can still do Flashpoint and kind of continue with things. If it doesn't, they can still do a Flashpoint movie and use it to kind of reset things and start off on a new path. So they're waiting on that for a couple movies, actually. But Suicide Squad 2 and Wonder Woman 2, regardless of how it does, are going to be filming starting next year. So there's that. And then there's a rumor that just won't die, and that's that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be playing Batman in Flashpoint. So that rumor is still kicking around.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all seen that like photoshopped image of him in the bat suit with the red. So, I mean, that would be cool. But are we going to get Grifter? I don't know. I mean, it's a good way for them to kind of reset everything. Like, if Justice League does well, maybe they'll hold off on it for a while until those actors' contracts have expired, and then boom, you do your Flashpoint, you reset it with new people. You know, so you kind of easy that way.
Yeah,
I think it's funny that they're not talking about using the movie to reset continuity, but instead it's to reset the garbage meter if they turn out a bunch of terrible movies.
Yeah. Exactly. And, you know, they're still doing, well, again, depending on how this does, like the connected movies, right? Like the ones that kind of have the overall story flowing through them, but then they're still going to be doing like the standalone movies, the one-off movies, the whatever you want to call them, Elseworlds, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, those are all going to continue, but yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure it's going to do well. You know, everyone's like, oh, reshoots, oh my God. But I think reshoots are good. I'm not like, you know, when I hear reshoots, I don't get like, oh.
Yeah, they found something to make better, and they took the time to do it.
That or they saw something in editing that like, well, we got to have this scene, but it doesn't work, so we got to reshoot it. You know, I mean, it's just you never know what it's really for, and I don't. Like you just said, it doesn't really bother me when I hear that, oh, they called them back for reshoots. Okay.
I just hope that they, like, obviously you've got several characters there. Is somebody watching Beetlejuice?
It's a commercial. Yeah. I have the TV on, and I think it's still on the channel, but the first Thor movie was on.
Nice.
So I just threw that on, yeah.
But there's so many characters, you know, you got Wonder Woman, and Batman, and Cyborg, and Flash, and Aquaman, and, you know, kind of your first with Cyborg and Aquaman coming in, and I hope so they'll be inclined to do a little bit of backstory, I'm sure there, but I hope they just don't try to throw too many things into one movie and it gets all disjointed, because I think that was part of the problem with Suicide Squad, one of many problems with it. But also that's one of the good things, I know y'all talked about it before, of like the Guardians movie, for example, or the Avengers movie. Like they could go a lot of different directions, but they make the movies tie together, but within a movie it's kind of locked down to a single storyline, and they just focus on that from start to finish. So I hope this Justice League goes that route and just doesn't get totally scatterbrained.
Yeah. Hopefully. I think with what's his face at the helm, it'll be good. And, you know, kind of makes a full story, which I like when I heard that, you know, instead of like massive hangover. Hangover, listen to me. I'm thinking about our friend Jeff again. Cliffhanger, there we go. but Zack Snyder would do something like that, right? Massive cliffhanger. Wouldn't get feel like it was like a full story. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think with him, it will be. Yeah, and I hear that Batman and Wonder Woman kind of steal the show from this movie. So those are like the two, like, you know, scene stealers for this. So that's cool to me. I like hearing that.
Well, I mean, if DC's smart, this is just a Batman movie with other people in it. You know, because that's how their books work. Justice League of America, the newer book is just like Batman with a different team of people. You know. So if they do it that way to get if you can lay the focus on a character like that, you'll keep people's interest more. You know, because if the movie focused too much on like Cyborg or Flash, maybe just the way they're doing the character, it may not draw people in as much. But if you got Wonder Woman and Batman as like your main characters of this film, that'll definitely like help it, you know, especially for people that want to see it more than one time.
Yep, exactly. And those kind of have to be, well, they kind of are. Like Batman's obviously been like the bread and butter for DC, especially with the movies. You know what I mean? Forever since they've been doing movies, and then Wonder Woman's like the one movie that everybody really loves. So like it makes complete sense to take those two characters and put more of the spotlight on them. You know, they're going to be the two that carry everything forward from here.
Very true.
All right. So something that actually is news from last week, really, but we didn't get to talk about it. But I guess it's in the scripting stage right now, but a spinoff of Logan, obviously the Wolverine movie, which should be starring Laura, X-23. So we've talked about that a few times, and we've said, of course they're going to do that, but now we kind of have a little bit of talk about around it. So I think that's pretty cool. It's really moved NYX3 up more. Yeah. Actually, a lot of her books, but yeah, I hope that happens. I'm all about that.
See, I think we all knew that movie was coming eventually. Like I said, God, can they not like let it die off a little bit? So I like let NYX3 drop down back to pseudo normal levels, so a brother can buy one.
Right.
Yep.
But anyway, no, I think we all. Go ahead.
I think I saw a 9.8 for like a little over $1,000.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Jeez.
Probably like you might probably get one for. I think I saw one for like 800-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we all knew that movie was coming. I'll be curious to see how far they jump or what timeline they take it on, because like I think we talked about this once before. Wouldn't they have to introduce like Cable and like time travel backwards to have it work out with like the X-Men timeline? Justin?
Yeah.
They would have to.
They would have to time travel in some way.
Yeah. But then they've got like, some character development they can do with the other kids at the end of that movie. But I'm curious to see how far they jump it, like how old they make her in this next movie.
I don't know. I would hope that she's like the age she is in the books right now, and they just do like an arc from the book or something, like. But I don't. Yeah. But like you're saying, I'm not sure where they would fit her in or where they would put her, if they would do a time jump or if it would just be a standalone X-23 Wolverine movie. We're all guessing right now.
Exactly. All we know is they're writing a script.
Yeah.
All we know is
everything else is speculation.
All we know is that they're going to speculate, and I won't be able to afford NYX3. That's all we know.
That's right.
But if the movie bombs, if it's horrible,
yeah, I don't see that one happening.
Yeah. Or you just wait, man. 20 years, you can get that book.
I don't know. I'm gonna say it's never gonna go below 500 ever again.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'd be cool. I mean, do you think it should be not X-rated? I'm thinking X-23. R-rated.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that like set Logan apart was it was that gritty kind of Wolverine character that everybody had been waiting for. Like, I mean, the dude has claws coming out of his hand and, you know, tears people up. Let's not PG it now, you know?
Exactly.
So it was that kind of like that raw edge that everybody was finally looking for. And it was, you know, it was the first Fox X-Men movie in a while that hadn't been a dumpster fire, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I mean, I can see why they want to do a solo film with her, but I hope that a solo X-23 film would lead into her. Then, like at the end, Cable showing up and being like, "You got to come with me," and her going back and being like an X-Force or something in a film. That would be really cool. But
Yeah. Or he brings her back, and then he has to leave, and then she's on the streets, and then we get NYX.
right.
isn't there already hype or talk about an X-Force?
Yeah, there is, but it's like it's a couple movies down the road, so you never know.
We're gonna get Cable first and Deadpool 2. We'll see what teasers are at the end, but you know, we'll see from there. So cool. I think we're all on the same page with a Laura movie would be good. It's gotta be good. All right, cool. So the next thing, I think most people know this by now because this came out a few days ago, but Zachary Levi is actually reportedly cast as Shazam for what else? Shazam. He was Fandral in Dark World, right? Thor movie.
That's the only thing I know him from.
He was Chuck.
The TV
Chuck.
show.
Yeah, Chuck. I started that, and he was also on Heroes Reborn. So he's been in a couple things now. But so everybody knows that, but there was a couple things actually that came out pretty much today. So we'll talk about that here. Grace Fulton, she's most famous for Annabelle Creation. She was in that. She was cast for a role that they're not saying what it was. But if you look at her, the only thing you could possibly think is Mary Marvel.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I think Grace, she was cast. I think she will be Mary Marvel in the movie. That's my thing on it. And then there's a guy named Mark Strong. You guys know who he is?
Sounds familiar, but
okay. Okay. What is? He's a guy. He is going to be playing Dr. Sivana, villain.
Oh, cool.
Against Shazam. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
That actually works. At first, though, I thought, like, the picture that I saw, I was just looking on my phone, and I was like, wait, did he just get cast as Mr. Freeze? Because just the way that picture looked, it looked like Mr. Freeze for a second. So I was like, ooh, that'll be cool.
Oh, that guy. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. So now we have, I think, 4 people, right? We have Shazam. Who am I thinking of? The 2 I just said.
Mary Marvel.
Yeah, Mary Marvel, Dr. Sivana. That's good. It's shaping up. We're finally after all these years, we're finally getting some movement on this, right?
Yeah, I wonder if this will translate into Shazam actually showing back up in the books.
Hopefully.
Because he hasn't shown up in Rebirth yet at all, has he?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
You're still here. You correct me if I'm wrong, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so we have those folks. We have it's always tough to say his name. Adam Sztykiel, that's how you say it. He's going to be writing the script for Black Adam. He wrote like Alvin and the Chipmunks and Due Date and stuff, so comedy stuff. So that kind of fits with what we're looking for here.
Right.
Right. There's producers attached, but right now there's no director just yet. So that's kind of all the latest on the Shazam movie.
Yeah, I like somebody said the other day or something. Was it last week on the show that it should have like the greatest American hero kind of feel to it?
That would be awesome.
Like that would make sense. I mean, that would be funny, and it would kind of make sense for a Shazam type movie. So a kid not knowing what the crap he's supposed to do with all this like knowledge and power now, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's perfect for Zachary Levi. Like he's comedy. He kind of fits that like, you know, kid stuck in a man's body type of a, you know, comedy.
Right. I mean, I hear a lot of people, or I heard and saw a lot of people complain about he's not big enough to be Shazam and stuff like that. Trust me, guys.
Shazam's got
by
like
the time,
that big like jawline, like like the John Cena looking face.
yeah. But by the time the movie comes out, by the time they start filming, trust me, he will probably have gained 30 to 50 pounds of muscle on like some crazy regimen that he's already working on,
Regiment and anabolics.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget the anabolics.
Lots of Hollywood pep me up drugs.
So, real quick, Comics Corner Club says that Shazam only popped up once in Hellblazer Rebirth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, weird. Okay. Man, that's a weird place for... All right, whatever.
They seed people around so you go and have to read all the books. Like, who was it? Who was in Rebirth from JSA? I forget her name.
Liberty Bell?
Was that who it was? And that was like the last time we saw her, right? So hopefully we'll be getting JSA back soon. But like, they just kind of, Jackie O said loads of HGH.
Right.
So all right, cool. So hopefully we'll get some more. You got Adam writing the script now, so maybe we'll get some leaks on that eventually. A little bit about what that will be, what story arc they're going to borrow from.
Yeah. I got him. I mean, has he done anything? I mean, I'm sitting here trying to look at what he's written. I mean, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like when somebody says like, "Hey, what awesome things have you written?" and you roll out Alvin and the Chipmunks. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what that says exactly.
I see what you're saying. It's like,
I think it more matters how much money did it make. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would put it on my resume because it made a lot of money,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So.
Because he's not trying to impress you. He's trying to impress the, like, movie studio.
Yeah. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Till we're proven wrong. That's how I'm going into it. Be like, well, we'll see what you got, and then we'll decide if we like it.
I mean, we'll be hopeful. It's the first time we're gonna see Shazam.
Yeah.
In a live action movie. Like, he had the TV show in the 70s, wasn't it? That was weird. So hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll get Mary Marvel, Dr. Savannah.
Yeah.
That's a good cast so far. So there we go. So there is your Shazam news. So the I forget who it was, AMC CEO. This should be good news for Walking Dead fans. So there's been talk like with Robert Kirkman saying, we talked about it a couple months back, but he was saying like, oh, I know the ending for The Walking Dead, kind of like talking about Carl and stuff. So people are like, oh no, shit, the show's going to end. And there's been some stuff recently, like, because it's up to right around issue 115. So they're about, I don't know, what are they on, 173 now? So, I mean, there's only so much story between there. All Out War was about 12 issues, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into the time jump and stuff like that. But how many more seasons can they possibly go till they kind of get into Game of Thrones territory where they're like beyond what's been written? But the CEO said that the show's doing amazing. They want like a legacy show. There's some shows that have been out for like, decades. So he said that The Walking Dead, assuming it does well and people still watch it, could, and this is the quote, creep on for decades. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, that means a crap load of more seasons. So don't worry about it ending. They don't have any plans right now to end that show anytime soon. So,
wow.
You guys watch Walking Dead?
I kind of like didn't. I watched up till last season. And last season, I just kind of started dwindling down how much I was watching it. I guess like I fell off a good bit.
Yeah, I gave up. Let's see. They went to Terminus. I don't know what season that was, and then the first season where they went to the town, maybe like
Atlanta.
No, the town with the
fenced-in community.
Yeah, the community with
the governor.
Baking and no, after that.
Alexandria?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And there was like had like the mayor, not the mayor, but the lady who was in charge of the place.
Oh yeah, she's
I don't know.
She's gone.
It got to me like it was so like the seasons. I know this will offend some people who like it. It was just they were so rinse and repeat. You know, it was like the same thing over and over and over again each series or season. So I gave up. But hey, teach their own, man. If they want to keep making them and people keep loving them, then you know, and they keep raking in cash, more power to them. But not for this guy.
Okay, fair enough. I've been watching it. I jumped in. I think it was around season 3 and binged like the first 3 seasons, and then I was caught up. But yeah, man, I like the show a lot. It's the premiere for last season. Like it's hard to top that. So I kind of went into this like it was a good, in my opinion, start to the season with All Out War, like setting up like the battle with Negan and all the different the towns. But it didn't have that like big impact that the last one did. So, you know, I don't know. It's a cool story. I like it. There's not so much focus right now on the zombies, which I don't know. I wish they would throw in a little bit more zombie stuff. But
that's what we watch it for.
Yeah, you know, it's a zombie show. It's a Walking Dead show.
You watched Fear the Walking Dead, or did you watch that?
I did for a while. I kind of fell off of that. I just had a hard time caring about the characters. Once I went down to Mexico, I was like, okay. That's fine. But the premiere for this season, I think it had the lowest ratings ever for a Walking Dead premiere.
Oh, wow.
So
well, and that's fine if the show goes on forever. But think about it; it's going to change soon. Andrew Lincoln isn't going to play Rick Grimes forever. You know. Yeah. He's going to want to do something else at some point.
How the old man Grimes,
right? He's like, no, I got to do Love Actually too.
Yeah. They're gonna have to close it out like the Skywalker saga and go with like a new generation of folks. You know, it'd be like the Grimes saga.
Jump or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were trying with Fear the Walking Dead, and it's right in the trash, as Chris would say.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen one even second of that show. I stopped watching Walking Dead. When I stopped watching Walking Dead, the governor was alive still. Him and Rick were gonna end up fighting. They were just like, look, motherfucker, this is it. And then that was it. Like it went to the break and I just never hopped back into it. And then everyone was like, oh, the Negan thing, and all of a sudden that happened. And now it's just like, you know, I could care less what happens with it just because of the fact that you know, I started thinking about the same thing. Actually, I came in when Jesse was saying they're gonna go beyond what's written, and it's just like, for me, like when I think about that, I don't know how strong of a show they have to go beyond what's written. Really, honestly, like writing wise, I don't know. I mean, unless you know you have Kirkman, you know, writing, you know, as you know, basically writing the show to coincide with what will be in the books later on. Yeah, that show is kind of doomed because they just have to do the same stuff over and over again. We find a new group of jerks, and like Rick and them don't get along, and then you know, we kill them or we assimilate them, and then all of a sudden we're all one big happy family. But then new threat, this thing happens. It's just like, you know what? Just stop putting dinosaurs and shit in the show. Make it interesting.
They've been doing that already, Chris. Well, except for the dinosaurs part.
What episode did you watch? I missed out.
But
they got a dinosaur in there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they were Dinobots, but no, they meet a new group of people. They don't get along. Let's fight. Like, at least the ones I've seen, that's already like 4 seasons worth to talk about right there.
Well, yeah, and that's you know, I mean, it wasn't so bad when it was the governor. Like when it first was the governor and everything, it was, you know, really just kind of shocking because it's like, you know, he just had no morals and nothing like that. You just look at this guy who's just, you know, doing all these horrible things, but now it's just like, I mean, I feel like after him, there's not really anybody that's really gonna shock you or get you upset just because of the way that he was. It's just like, I mean, I didn't even get to see him die, so like pretty much, if I was to get back into it, I'd watch it up until he got killed, and then I just stopped because it's just like after him, as far as I'm concerned, there's no one more evil than him. It's almost like same
I can
thing.
tell you don't read the book.
Well, like I haven't read it in a while, because I know there's the Whisperers. I know Negan was pretty horrific in the book, and in the show, I don't know. I mean, I did see the you know, the whole trailers and everything and all the teasers that they had going, and it seemed pretty accurate. But you know, I mean, I think because comics are a little different and they're presented in a different way, it's easier to kind of get into that and be like, oh, like these guys are even worse than this guy, because you can go further in the comic than you can on television. But I don't know. I just feel like for a television show, it's gonna end up. And I mean, you say you still watch, so I mean, do you feel like it's gotten to that point where it's kind of jumped the shock and really, you know, they need to either take it in a new direction or just kind of shut it down, or is it so strong?
I like where they are now, all at war, and you know the fight with Negan.
Yep.
And I know where it's going. So I like, you know, when we get to the Whisperers and we get to see Alpha, and you know, there's a lot of good stuff to come. So I'm definitely in it for the long haul. I like the show. Yeah.
Good deal. I just like, the only thing that pisses me off about The Walking Dead is that they've just like given up on trying to find a cure or anything of that sort. They're just like, nope, this is just how it is. I mean, I understand that they're trying to survive and things like that, but come on.
Yeah. I
think that would be cool. Like, at least they would have a goal, you know?
Yeah. They were doing that when they were in Atlanta, you know, trying to find like the CDC and stuff.
Right, but it's like the CDC, and then they gave up after that. They're like, well, we found this really weak guy in there who had given up on life, and he couldn't fix anything, so I guess we're just all doomed, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know what? With the show, winter is coming, so they're going to have to watch out for the White Walkers. That's going to be the next thing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Episode.
Don't worry,
crossover there.
Big E's is with you. He's apparently says to ignore all of us haters. And,
that's right. Right on.
But,
that's what's up right there, Big E's. We know.
Gomez said something that made me think, and I don't know if this is exactly what he was asking or what. I don't know if this is exactly what he was saying, but what it made me think of, he said, "How long do you think the comic will run through Kirkman, or run through Kirkman?" And I guess what that made me think about was, do you think it's going to be the kind of thing like a Spawn, for example, where it's all like Spawn's always going to be McFarlane's baby for as long as he has it, or do you think there's a time where like The Walking Dead is like Kirkman's done with The Walking Dead and somebody else takes over that book, and what do you think that'll do to it?
I think it'll end. I think it will have a hard ending. Like, it won't just be someone else taking over the book. Like, I think it will have a definitive ending. Whatever that is, Kirkman has said it's kind of always been about Carl and that he has the ending in mind. So I think, like he did with Invincible and some of his other stuff, when he's done with it, it's done.
Yeah, so. I was going to say, because I remember we did it a few weeks back where just like, you know, it wasn't saying that, you know, it's over now. He just kind of was saying, like, I know how it ends. Like I have it in my head. Like, I know when it's gonna happen, and people kind of jump the guns like it's over, like the comic's gonna end. It's like, not yet, just I know how it ends, just, you know, we'll get there when we get there. That's pretty much, I guess, the best answer you can get from him, is just we'll get there when we get there. And as long as he wants to keep it going, I see it being like a McFarlane, it's his baby thing. Like, there's no, you know, I don't think he would ever turn it over to anybody else, just because I mean, you don't want to see somebody else, you know, kind of taking ideas or warping things that you created based on like, oh, I think it would be this way. Well, you know, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Like, so I think it's a good thing if he, you know, does a hard ending, you know, kills off the series and just kind of, you know, especially if it's a good ending, something that really like definitively ends where it's at, perfectly fine. I think that's where it needs to go.
Rick wakes up in the hospital room and it's all been a dream, the whole thing.
It's all a dream. Yeah. They were reading the story in Word Up magazine. But if you think about like biology, you know, body breaking down when we die and stuff. I mean, these people, these not zombies, these walkers have to eventually like completely decay. Like, they're already like getting pretty well decayed with their, you know, innards and everything from where they were at the beginning of the show, where they were still pretty fleshy. So if you think about that, like, eventually the walkers that are still around are going to have to kind of just decay and be done with. And then at that point, it's like, okay, well, we can really start focusing on rebuilding.
Right. But the bad thing is, though, you still got to like manage people that die. Make sure that you stab them through the brain or, you know, whatever. So,
yeah.
Yep. And then there's always going to be, and Rick's kind of alluded to this, like why they have to do this now is Negan is sort of a symbol. There's always going to be like a Negan in your life. There's always going to be somebody trying to like, steamroll over you or, take advantage of you or get something from you. If you don't stand up to those people, if you don't kind of put your foot down and say no when it's important, then they're always going to be trying to walk over you. So if they don't fight Negan now, or they beat him later, there's going to be another, or if they leave town, there's going to be another Negan. And then after that Negan, there's going to be another Negan. You know what I mean? So this is like symbolic of them putting their foot down and saying, no, we don't deserve this. We're building our family. We're building our community, rather. And we're doing it now.
Yeah, it's like real life. There's always another asshole.
That's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. Yeah. There's always going to be a Negan out there that you need to say no to, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Rack said CDC blew up in season 2. I remember that big explosion.
Yep.
There was a big old countdown, and there was somebody trapped inside there. And I remember there was like a glass doors outside that they were locked, and there was somebody trapped in there.
Yeah.
It was a good ending that season. So, all right, cool. So that is Walking Dead. Could creep on for decades. So there we go. Next up, we have New Warriors.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was supposed to be on Freeform. It is no longer going to be on Freeform. The studio is shopping it around to others, and I think that is actually a good thing versus being like a bad thing.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I want it to be on a better network.
Yeah.
So now,
that's where it's going to end up. They did some like early pre-screenings, and the ratings for it through those were through the roof.
okay.
So they're like, okay, people actually are going to really like this. So let's kind of get it onto a more prominent platform.
Nice.
So
I read, and I don't know how solid this is, but I read that basically, I think it was like Hollywood Reporter might have said something about it. So I mean, either that or I may be confusing a few different things, but I had read that going forward, I guess Marvel has been basically mandated by Disney not to shop any other properties outside of their network. So, nothing to Netflix, nothing. It has to be something that is within Disney. It has to be something that's owned by Disney, which Freeform is. Mm-hmm. Freeform is basically old ABC Family. So, I wonder if it's going to end up on, ABC or something that Disney owns. I think I don't know how fully they have. I think they have a partnership a little bit with Hulu. I mean, you can always look up Disney subsidiaries and stuff like that, but
remember Disney's starting their own streaming service too.
Well, I wonder if they'll just shelve it until it's time for their own streaming network to come out.
I don't know. I mean,
I was also thinking maybe it could be a replacement for Inhumans, which is only going to be lasting one season.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, bring it on to ABC. And if it's doing as well as they say it is, why not? Bring it to ABC. Mm-hmm. Let it be the replacement for Inhumans, and it's within the company confines, and it's a network, a huge network. You know what I mean? That even if you don't have cable, you can get. So, that I think would be the smartest way to go.
I think you're always going to be limited, at least today, to what you can do if you put a show on a network, though, versus a Hulu or an Amazon or a Netflix,
But I think this version of New Warriors. I mean, there's never a version of New Warriors that's like super gory, violent, over sexualized or anything like that. Like, I mean, it would fit on network television, really. I think. Yeah.
They got Squirrel Girl there. Can't be that violent.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She's probably gonna be more comic relief and stuff like that than anything else. But I don't really see it going to anything that like you wouldn't put it on a Netflix because you just don't need to go gritty with it. You can just stick with just making it just a regular hero show. Maybe serious at points. Have your little comedy in there. And just hope that it's done well enough that it can stay on for a few seasons.
Yeah, I see it as a sort of younger demographic show too. So
yeah,
I don't. It's not really. It wouldn't fit with the rest of the Netflix shows, in my opinion. But since we're talking about like other platform type of stuff, another show that is actually getting really good talk about it is Runaways.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's on Hulu, right?
Yes.
Yeah. they're saying, you know, all the studios are looking for like the next Game of Thrones, like the next home run. This isn't a home run per se, but it's a really good base hit.
There you go.
You know, so Hulu's still like they're kind of building their platform, they're building their, you know, portfolio of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is not a home run, but a really solid addition to that. So
all right, well,
yeah.
you know, so then you know, I was gonna say, would then you consider, I guess, from what you've heard about New Warriors, is it like a strong bunt, like versus like a solid base hit?
No, I'd say it's a double.
Okay, well, I mean, you know,
double extra bases, huh? All right.
Yeah. Well, maybe a single with a stolen base. How about that?
I mean, right now, you know, they are doing good things with the television. Just because Gifted, I guess, is getting a lot of praise too. You know, and you know, it's kind of fun to see that they're able to kind of put different type of shows, but you know, put them in different places and have them be good. So, I mean, the way that you're describing though, you know, Runaways. I mean, I think it's because it's that obscure of a title, kind of like the Guardians effect, where it's that obscure of a title that is not like, you know, it's not like straight like main, like, you know, super popular characters, that you can have a lot of freedom and tell a lot of different stories with them, and maybe, you know, flesh them out a little bit more on television, and just have some fun with it. So, you know, that's kind of cool to see that they're going to go that route. Same thing, I think Gifted has that same type of, you know, background as well, where it's just like, you know, you really can you know, show off a lot of good stuff, even though there's a lot of, you know, prominent X-Men characters, you know, in there. It's that much different. It doesn't, you know, it's just different enough that you can, I guess, expect there to be something a little better, and it's on FX, so FXX, whatever it is. You know, so they can go a little bit, you know, edgy when they need to, but you know, pretty much put out a good show. So, you know, I'm glad to hear stuff like that. I'm glad to hear that those are coming along and getting the reception that they are.
Yeah, should be pretty good. And from, again, what I hear, or what I read rather, a good balance of the parents who are like kind of like lawyers and, you know, doctors, prominent people in the community. You know, they do a good job about portraying the cult that they're part of. And a balance between focusing on the runaways, the kids, but also kind of giving it some perspective with the adults and kind of like their thing. Like the first episode is about them kind of like they're in high school, you know, they're you know, end up having to come together because of their parents. They find out it's a cult. And then the next episode is from the parents' perspective, kind of like the same thing, but from their perspective of what happened. So that's kind of how the show's supposed to start, which it sounds cool. It kind of like kills the momentum a little bit, you know, because you get to like, you get to a cliffhanger and then you got to wait, you know what I mean? But
it's true.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how I got to the cliffhanger. Yeah,
exactly. So, but we'll see, you know, from what we hear so far, it sounds like it'll be pretty decent. So, you know, we'll have to, like, all of this stuff, you hear stuff, you read stuff, reviews, whatever.
Yep.
You got to watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Informative opinion. So there's that.
Did
There's
the
some.
originals, did the Runaways story actually start that way? Like, I've never read Runaways.
I've never read it either. You know, I wasn't
Did it
quite
start with,
sure
like,
about them.
Were their parents really in an occult?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
They were
okay,
all like,
cool.
there's like witchcraft and stuff. Yeah.
That's cool that they kept that then. That's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's Nico. Her parents were like witches or something like that.
And Blink's on that team, right?
I think at one point she did.
I think she joined the team later.
Like on the TV show, though.
No, Blink is on Gifted.
Oh,
Is it
she's on.
Blink? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Blink?
Yeah. But like
I
now,
think it's
Runaways, are they in any way, shape, or form tied to the X-Men at all?
What?
Like, I guess X-Men characters or something along those lines. Like, I mean, not saying that the actual part of the team, but like I always, for whatever reason, I always link them with the X-Men in some way, shape, or form. I might have been confused with NYX, like because they both came out around the same time, and I was always confused with that.
I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just, you know, it's a title I never read, but I mean, it might just be me linking something to something else. Just like, oh yeah, they got some type of tie to the X-Men, I guess. But I have no idea. Like, I really don't. So, I mean, for me, watching the show would be kind of like, you know, just something new and fresh. You know, see what this is all about, and then maybe go back and get some graphic novels and check some stuff out. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So there's that. Let's move on to the next thing. I don't know if I put this on there. I don't think I did. I'm looking at the wrong thing right now. Shoot. Anyways, I'll just say it anyways. So for the show Black Lightning, which will be on CW, they actually cast Jill Scott to be Lady Eve.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a few days ago. But then we got some news that Chantal Tui, she's from Pretty Little Liars, she's going to have a recurring role on the show. So she's going to be Grace Choi, who was a bartender, but also a member of the Outsiders, if you're familiar with them. Kind of, they had their own, you know, couple volumes, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be the love interest of Anissa Pierce. So there you go. A little bit of insight into some of the casting on Black Lightning TV show that's coming up. So we'll see.
I'm still really confused about why they're putting that in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense with everything they've got going on. Like, whatever.
You know, we'll see. You know,
I don't know what I'm talking about. So,
Deadpool said that Black Lightning is going to be awful.
Could be.
So Jackie O and Deadpool are going to have a little hate party on that one. Looks like got some beer, sit back and hate on it.
Well, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to Gifted, though. So
yeah. So they're coming together on this.
They can come together on Black Lightning.
I'm glad they found common ground. Good job, guys. Way to be adults. All right, cool. So I don't know if I put that in there, so we can just move on to the reviews. So 2 books. Well, we had a few books up. 2 of them tied. We had some quite a few people who actually voted in the poll, so thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. I'm going to say Tuesday, I'll put it up, the new poll for the week on my Twitter page. It's at ComicsJLS. So definitely, you know, vote in that if you want us to, if you see something on there, or shoot me a message and say, hey, why did you add this book? I want to hear about it. So that's always on the table. But every Tuesday, feel free to vote, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and it ends I think it ends like noon today. So the 2 books were Dead Man #1, which is the 5th volume of that, and also Batman White Knight #2. Yeah. There was a tie. So instead of talking about one, we might as well talk about both. So Dead Man will do first, I guess. But I'll start. I mean, I'll kind of preface it by saying I like Dead Man. He's a cool character, right? Really cool. I think it was Strange Adventures 205. Is that right? Yeah. For the first? Okay. Yeah. So really cool cover there. You know, he was really good in like Justice League Dark, like, you know, all these things. Cool character. I like him. And also I like Neil Adams. He's like basically a living legend. Like, he's gone through so many important titles, stories, people's careers, like helping them out. Like, he's done so much. Like, he's a very important historical figure in comic books. He's cool. Mm-hmm. Other than, you know, paying him like $20-$30 and you get like some donut dust on your book, you know what I mean, while he's signing it, you know what I mean. And there's stories about him. Every time I've met him, he's always been nice and talkative, and, you know, tells me all these anecdotes and stuff. But so I like Neil Adams, and I like Dead Man. So that's my preface to this. The book sucked. I hated it. It was horrible. The art sucked. The story was crap. You know, the clue should have been that it had a gimmick cover, like the glow in the dark. So my recommendation with this book is use the glow in the dark. Turn out the lights and like play with the cover and forget there's a story inside of it. It was horrible. I really did not like it. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Seeking Near Mint said don't spoil it, so I won't.
Oh, spoil it. Okay.
I wish I could. I won't for him. If it wasn't for him, I would spoil the shit out of it so I could save you guys the money on this book.
I'll go next, man. That book was fucking terrible, man. Straight up. Like, look, I don't understand how the artwork got passed. Like, I know, like you said, Neil, living legend, super nice guy. I've always had great interactions with him when I've gotten to meet him. Super cool.
Spoil it. He said that's for Stranger Things.
Oh, got you.
Save people their money. Tell them how the story went.
I mean, it's just
Story time with Chris.
It's a really, really just weird whole deal. They start out in what looks like space suits and stuff like that, and this one guy who is out to try to kill Commissioner Gordon. No real reason why he's out to try to kill him. Then you flip around and you get to this point where like there's some old kung fu master beating the shit out of some dude, and but he can realize, but he realizes that Dead Man is around him and stuff, and it's just like no real explanation as to why or how. And then he supposedly kills, so the sensei kills this guy named Claw, only for Claw to appear like 3 or 4 pages after that, trying to kill Commissioner Gordon, who's not really Commissioner Gordon. It's actually Batman, but he
does the Mission Impossible thing with the fake face.
Yeah. And then so then Commissioner Gordon starts acting way out of character. He's like beating the absolute shit out of this guy. I mean, just hammering him. Who are you working for? Who are you working? And the guy's bleeding. He's losing teeth and all that type of stuff. And then Dead Man kind of jumps into this other guy and just like, what's going on here? Tries to figure out what's happening. He's like, how do you know he's lying? He's like, because he's like, I killed the sensei. So now Batman supposedly killed some guy by shooting him in the back 4 times. And then you get to now he's in the Wayne Manor, and he's hanging out with Commissioner Gordon, and Alfred's there and everything. And then like Dead Man pops into Alfred and knocks him down, but then jumps into Gordon and is just like, you son of a bitch, you killed that guy. And it's the weirdest story I've ever seen. It is. It's really badly done. I mean, if Neil wrote it, what the fuck, Neil? You got to figure something out. Like at least it was storytelling, because it was all over the place.
Didn't they learn the lesson from the past few things Neil's written? The flop.
He should have. But the thing that was really I mean, outside of the story, because I gave up on the story relatively early in. As soon as I saw that old sensei and it was just getting really convoluted and dumb, I stopped on the story. Like, I mean, I read it all the way through, but I just was checked out. But the art is what killed me. I'm like, a lot of that art looked very sketchy. The faces were all messed up. I mean, I couldn't understand what the facial expressions were that he was doing. And I understand he's a better artist than I'll ever be. Even if I lived 1,000 lifetimes, I could never get to his level. But still, it was just like, I mean, I don't know if the book was rushed or what the deal was, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't finished. And literally, like you said, they just slapped a gimmick cover on there, like, buy this book for, what was it, $4.99, right? Because the cover?
I don't know.
I think.
Something for some people, yeah.
Probably.
Save yourself the $5 or $4, whatever it is. Save the money. Don't buy it. Just read it online. If you're really like that intrigued about it, you want to know, read it online. I mean, you don't have to. I basically told you everything the way it was in my really convoluted, stupid description of it. That's literally how the book flows. So how I just spoke it is the exact same way it flows. So if you like the way I described it, then hey, it's for you. Go ahead and enjoy it. But if not, if you thought I was kind of incoherent and dumb about it, then hey, guess what? That's what you're paying for if you put that money down. So don't do it.
But that wasn't him. That was the story.
That was the story.
Incoherent and dumb.
It's just, like really, I mean, I only read it like 3 or 4 hours ago. So it's just like, I really had to like search my brain to like get back to knowing what the hell happened. And I still don't understand how it all happened, what happened. It was just,
all right.
It was bad.
All right.
Why was Gordon like doing a nuclear plant, like looking at tubes?
He's
like,
completely out of, like,
why?
So out of character.
No sense.
Yeah, they kind of threw it in. They didn't give us any backstory on what was going up, why Gordon was being targeted while he was outside of Gotham, things like that. But my thing with it was this a complete retcon of Boston Brand's origin, or was he always with the sensei and he was the Claw before?
I forgot that he pulled his face off.
I thought he was like an actor or something that died.
No, I think he was in the circus with the little guy, and then So is this a retcon of his origin then? That's what I'm asking. It seems like it is. Seems like it.
I forgot about when the old man figures out he's around, and then like dead man pulls his face off, and he gets young again, and he has an actual face. And I was like, "What the hell?" It was. I forgot all about that. Thank you for saying that.
There was stuff about his brother in there.
Yeah, it was all.
Yeah.
It was.
How many times do they need to say Boston Brand? Like every other sentence had his name in it. Like we get it. Your fucking name is Boston Brand. Like that's enough.
Just Neil was very drunk when he wrote that shit, and he's just like, "Fuck it, I had to turn it into something because they expect something." So here you go. He probably just ran away.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I did not like it either. It was definitely a below average.
I give it a -3.
Yeah. I don't even know. I wouldn't give it. I don't know. Maybe a 1.5.
Right in the trash. No, not even like just right in.
Yeah, I definitely say do not buy it unless if Dead Man is like your favorite character.
Or you need a nightlight.
Or you need a nightlight, yeah. But otherwise, don't buy this book.
Did you read it, Adam?
No, I did not. I did not know that was the topic for discussion.
It was.
And, I like I say, I'm a little behind. I'm a little disadvantaged because I haven't picked up my books this week yet. But that one was not on the list anyway. So
yeah, and shame on the people that tied the vote and wanted to read that book. Shame on all.
Yeah, so many people. Sick people.
That was their whole thing. They wanted to find out before they bought it.
Yeah,
now you know, don't buy it. Sorry, DC.
All right. So, White Knight. I actually really like that one.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the first 2 issues? So the story so far, because we haven't really discussed that. So
I really liked number 1. I thought number 1 was
awesome.
And different.
It was good.
Yeah, the whole car chase thing, and like I thought 1 was really good.
Yeah.
I love
he was on like the scooter.
Yep. I love the whole part of it where in the first one when Joker gets put away and everything like that, he's in jail, and then he's taking this medicine to like I guess suppress his like psychotic urges and stuff like that, and it has a different effect on him because he starts getting smarter, not smarter, but like because he's not so crazy and he's actually thinking about stuff, he flips everything. I mean, everything on Gordon and the police and everything. And he starts bringing up like legal language against him. He's like, has anyone ever thought to think that, Batman's probably the worst thing that's ever happened in this city? Like, look at all the crimes he gets away with on a nightly basis. And then Gordon's just like, and he's like, and you're responsible, Gordon. He's like, how am I responsible? He's like, you let him do this for years, like literally.
Yeah. So, and on top of that, the bat signal's in police custody up on the roof right now.
Yeah, and he's just like, that's every time he lit that sign up, he's like, you were participating in this, and he's just like, so I'm gonna sue you. Like he basically said that he's gonna put charges on everybody unless they gave him what he wanted, which was to arrest Batman, and it's just and he doesn't go by Joker, he's Jack Napier again.
Yeah,
so it was pretty cool. Like it's a very different story, and he wants to be the I guess for lack of a better way of saying it, he wants to be the hero that Gotham deserves, like the true hero, and not a menace like Batman.
Yeah, he wants to be Gotham's White Knight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you did there. It was kind of like a darker story for me. Like I really liked the way he included the news reporters. Like to me, that felt like the best of the things that Frank Miller's done.
Right. It definitely had like some of that like Dark Knight Returns feel.
Yeah.
I will say the art inside seemed a little bit schizophrenic to me. Like there were some panels that at least number 1, that I thought there were some panels I thought were awesome, and then there were some other panels and pages where I was like, like what happened here?
Yeah. I hear that like some people, it's Sean Murphy, right?
Yep, Sean Murphy.
So or Sean Gordon Murphy, but some people like love his artwork, and then there's other people like you're saying that are like, oh, I don't know if I dig this art style.
Yeah. How he did? I mean, he did Tokyo Ghost really well. I like the way he did that. I think if you're used to him, you can kind of embrace his art style a little more and find appreciation with a lot of things. If this is your first story reading him, I guess it's a little bit jarring. You kind of get used to the way certain things look. But he does covers really well, and he puts a lot of time and effort into those. And then but so the difference between the cover and the interior isn't super dramatic, but it definitely can throw you for a loop a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And then issue 2 picked right up there, with the White Knight, And I liked the story with Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Right? That was a really cool
unexpected switch.
Yeah, exactly. And I know this is kind of like a one-off sort of story, but I hope that, I mean, it would make sense for that to be kind of carried over to the main continuity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That would give them the opportunity to produce a second book and make more money.
There you go. Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool the way they did that. I liked how this book opens with Joker just pleading his case in court and like the ramifications that kind of follow with that. I don't want to spoil too much for Adam there, but
you're all good. Go for it. That's all.
I mean, yeah, Mr. Freeze in this issue,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
Best part of this issue, just because it looks like Mr. Freeze should look. You know what I'm saying?
There's one really amazing splash page with like the stasis chamber or whatever it is, where there's a lady frozen and he's standing there, and that just like really popped out at me. That was a really cool panel. Full page actually.
Yeah. As far as, you know, like what we just said with Dead Man, the complete opposite goes for this book, in my opinion. This is a definite buy this week. If you're a Batman fan, if you're a comic book fan, I think this is just a solid story so far.
Exactly. And it's funny because I think, you know, this is a title that, you know, with everything happening with metal and everything like that, I think that people kind of would overlook a little bit, and it's actually really good. It's just like, you know, if you're looking for a solid Batman story, you know, this is a good one, and it's a different Batman story. That's what I think makes it so good. Is it's so different, but it's really, really cool, really done well. So, you know, I'm with you, Justin. I honestly hope that they kind of make a part 2 of it or something. I mean, from how it's going now, if there's still the ability to tell more story at the end of it and get a volume 2 out of it, let's do it.
Is it a 4 series mini?
8.
I think it's 5, right?
8.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was only 5.
So I like this enough. I'm giving it 4 3/4 out of 5.
Wow. High praise.
Is that for both stories, or is that for 1 and 2 so far?
Yeah, it's going to be for 1 and 2 up to where we are now. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say for both, I would give about 4.5. Like very, very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, I'll give it 4 out of 5 for number 1. Again, I haven't read 2, but I expect, you know, it to be on par.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. Like 4.5. I think I mean, definitely the best book I've read so far. Bad thing is I've only read Dead Man and this Batman, so there's a massive scale there.
Right, polar opposites. Like,
yeah, but you know, I'm like I said, I'm digging the art. There's great spreads in this. The first one, like that opening page where you have the Batmobile at Arkham's gates, like that. That just kind of set the tone of like, whoa, this is cool. What's going on? You know,
like flames coming out of the cowl on the front of it.
The way it should be.
Yeah, it was cool. Very gothic and dark.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so we all liked it.
Yeah.
So skip your Dead Man, pick up your White Knight.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I had a question I put in the topics. Did you guys see it?
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to ask you guys who you think in comic books has the hardest punch. Who can punch and take somebody out the easiest?
Wow. It's tough because I would want to go with like Hulk. I would say enraged Hulk is probably like probably the top. But other than that, I mean, just you know, not having to be enraged, I would say potentially Sentry, because Sentry has done some damage. I remember there was one panel that one story, a couple panels in where Thing tries to go at him, and he basically flicks the thing and knocks him across the street into a building. And I was just like, I mean, that was just a flick. So that seems. I mean, I have to say, I think the Sentry, and he's someone that's kind of like untapped. Like you don't see. I mean, he's not like prominent in Marvel as much as I think he should be. So I mean, we haven't gotten to really see him like, I mean, really let loose and go crazy. So I I think that there's a lot more to him, and I think that he's definitely at the just slam somebody. You know, even the Hulk. I think he could give the Hulk a good jolt.
He was the one. Didn't he knock Hulk out in World War Hulk? Wasn't he the one that finally did it when
At
Hulk?
the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
so,
to
yeah.
take him out.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Just because Sentry's power is like he's got the power of a million exploding suns.
Golden Sun is right.
A million exploding stars. There's like, it's almost incalculable.
Yeah.
How powerful that would be. Ridiculous. So, yeah, he has to be the most powerful. If he's gonna hit you, it's got to be the hardest.
I think he can hit harder than Superman too.
I don't know. See, I want to. For me, and I love Hulk, but for me, Hulk is maxed out at least at maybe number 3, because you know, flipping tanks and all that stuff. That's about as much as I'm going to give him. For me, the top 2 is you gotta coin flip it between Superman and Flash. And Superman, okay, he knocked Wonder Woman from like Earth, or from the sun, like all the way back to Earth, unconscious, if I remember correctly. So that's a big punch. Flash, though, so like he doesn't have the strength, but in all the equations, you know, like energy equal is, what is it? 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Well, the velocity part's the part that gets squared. So that number gets really big if you get going really fast. So that's why I'm kind of going Flash. I'm probably going to lean Flash on that one. Although I did a little research, and apparently the trump card is Superboy Prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who punched a hole in time.
Yep. Kind of hard to beat him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I remember, I think it was in 52. No, Countdown to Final Crisis. Superman actually says, like, you know, I don't know. Like, he said that he couldn't stand up to him. He's like, if he ever gets mad enough, I think all I can really do is try to reach him and calm him down. But he's said in a straight out fight that he can't beat Superboy Prime. He's too just primal, and he's too strong.
He had to get like some crazy armor and a sword and stuff to fight him.
Yep. This is who I'm picking.
The Death Flash?
Yes. God of Death. He was he basically took out the Anti-Monitor with one punch. It took Superman, like, he had to fight him a little while for that to happen.
Yeah.
He was bonded with the Flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he basically became like this version of Death, and like he was able to defeat him with one punch.
Yeah. I mean,
to me, that's pretty powerful. Where even Superman couldn't do that in just one punch.
That's true. I mean, I do feel like Flash kind of gets the shaft when it comes to that type of stuff. Like, people are like, oh, Flash. Well, no. I think people don't try to equate him just because of the fact is that, you know, when it comes to Superman, I mean, his whole skill set is just strength and power and this and that. And it's just like, well, what if Flash? Oh, Flash is really fast. It was that. But I mean, if he just came at you, like Adam said, if he just came running from, you know, however, you know, 800 miles an hour or something like that, and just hit somebody, it doesn't matter who, he's gonna, you know, lay you out.
Flash
whether it's sports or comic books, man, speed kills.
Right.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
no, Flash can hit
especially
you so
when you're
hard.
bonded as the God of Death.
He's just like,
sorry, Justin. Go ahead. What were you saying, man?
No, I'm good. The moment passed.
Yeah.
We're down now.
No. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, there's a ton of characters in Marvel that are basically Superman. So, I mean, Sentry's just kind of another one of those.
yeah, but I think he's the strongest of the Superman clones in Marvel. I mean, Gladiator's very strong too, but I would have to say
Hyperion,
but he's not as strong as I don't think he's as strong as Gladiator or Sentry, especially when he comes to the Void.
I don't know, man.
Void, I mean.
You gotta remember, Hyperion survived his world and another universe being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's pretty tough.
Tough, yes. Strong.
Punch.
Exactly. What if he's just a terrible? Like,
Sounds like he can take a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I never learned how to fight in my universe. My karate teacher got blown up.
I was just
Here
a
I
punching
am.
bag. I was just a punching bag. So yeah, that's a
like,
tough
no,
one.
he's like, he could be just like Homer. Like when Homer Simpson was training how to box. It's like, Homer, punching ain't your thing. Here's what you do. He's like, you can take a big beating. He's like, and then when you get tired, you just push him over.
Jiggle test, yeah. Isn't Squirrel Girl like the most powerful character in the Marvel universe? Like, so.
But she doesn't hit the hardest though.
He's unbeatable.
Yeah. She made Dr. Doom cry.
She beat Galactus.
Strength is not her power set.
Right.
Yeah.
It's her charm.
Seeking Nearman said One Punch Man.
Well, One Punch Man's not in comics though. I mean, he's in manga. I guess you're gonna be technical, but One Punch Man. As far have you guys ever watched that anime? It's kind of funny watching all these like demons and all these different things try to they go so hard to try to kill, and they're just sitting there smashing and destroying whole cities and states and whatever else. And One Punch Man just sit there, just chilling, just waits for that one opportunity, boo, and just that's it every time. Every time, just one shot, and it's just like, and then like the saddest one was like there was this demon, and he was sitting there dying. He's like, I didn't think that you could just do it with one punch. He's like, I'm so glad I got to see his true strength. He's like, is this the hardest you've ever had to hit somebody? And One Punch Man's like, yep. And he's just like, okay, and he just croaks. He's like happy with just that. Like, it's like no bad guy stands a chance with him.
Sweet. All right, so I think that we're kind of all over the place on the answer to this. So,
yeah, no, I think only you and Adam had the consistent answer of Flash.
Some sort of Flash derivative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our minds went to somebody like Superman, but stronger.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what?
Supreme could do it.
Supreme. There you go.
Yep.
Was that Alan Moore who did Supreme?
Yeah, he did. He did Supreme. In the beginning. Yeah.
Rob Liefeld, he created Supreme. He did some covers, but he never did interior art on the book.
Right.
Yeah, and Alan Moore wrote it, I guess, for a while.
Like later on and stuff. But I mean,
strong punches but no kicks, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we're talking. Well, I guess we could do kicks, striking. Who's the best grappler? Then? No, just kidding.
Well, not Rob Liefeld. It would have feet.
Yeah, no feet. No feet.
Yeah, exactly. It's Liefeld. No roundhouse kick.
He got really good at drawing like rocks on the ground.
That's right. They were always behind something.
I know. Yeah. Lords of the Long Box. Supreme had a dog. There was Lady Supreme and Kid Supreme. They had a whole Supreme pantheon. It was awesome.
Yep. I'm
actually trying to get the rest of that run right now.
How far along are you?
I've got a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm missing some of the later ones are harder to get just because like lower print run type things. But
are you specking on the Liefeld movie properties?
No, because I don't think he's going to get to do anything that's actually an Image. I think it's all like the Maximum Press, Extreme Studios, outside.
I don't think Justin specs on anything really. I think Justin just buys obscure and random books that he finds fun.
Yeah, whatever I like, man.
He's just like early Image. Yeah, that's good stuff. It's just like of course.
You know what it is
everywhere.
Yeah.
It is. It's fun stuff, and it's just like I mean, if you're looking for a run of comics that you can get for super cheap, go buy those old Images, man. You can get a whole big run, just for dollars or maybe even 50 cents, depending on where you go.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, it's right about 10 o'clock. Let's go around and give some final thoughts. But I just want to say that this month that we're into now, November, some really good stuff to look forward to. This weekend, we talked about it throughout the show, but obviously Thor Ragnarok, most of us try to see it tomorrow, so that's cool. Punisher's coming up the middle of the month. Sweet. We also have Justice League coming up right at the same time. Yep. And at the end of the month, which we were talking about earlier, is Runaways that comes out on the 21st.
Yep.
So there's 4 superhero type of things right there on this month. So a lot of good stuff coming up on the show, on TV, at your local theater. So there you go. But let's give some shout-outs. I know you guys got some stuff going on this weekend. So you want to kick it off, Chris?
I don't have anything going on specifically this weekend other than trying to see Thor. But I do have some videos that I need to be putting up. I got to do my haul for this week. Some back issues from last month, and then just kind of checking out the community and seeing some things. I may be going to Rhode Island Comic Con. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna try to see if I can work that out, depending on what's going on. But just pretty much some new videos coming up on the way. So stay tuned for those. And again, sorry for being late, but just had Murphy's Law kind of night where it's just like no matter what I try to do, it was just like 2 steps back instead of going 2 steps forward. So but I'm glad to have been able to be here and just have some fun talking. So thanks everybody for watching, and I promise to try to be on time for next. Trust me.
That's cool. You were out eating some grub, some good food.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, Justin, what's going on with you this weekend?
Thor and Thor.
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 Yeah.
No, like I said, gonna go definitely see that tomorrow night. Hopefully, have another video up tomorrow also, and then of course Sunday morning comics. We're gonna be opening some boxes.
There you go.
Ready for that.
Cool.
Tune in. Opening boxes. That's. I mean, how can you say no to that?
Right. Big thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat. Like everybody who's here, so many people. I'm not gonna name everybody, but you're all here.
No, you
so
are.
hey,
Yeah.
I think we tried to interact and talk with everybody pretty good.
You know what you've done.
You know what you did. So, but yeah, just thanks for everybody for showing up, and thanks for our guest here jumping in, saving the show with us.
Oh, bam! Comically, wow! Take it
Yeah,
away.
no, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a little different perspective. I tried to keep up with the chat. Didn't do as good a job, as I do when I'm just hanging out in there. But glad everybody showed up and looked like they were having a good time. Big thanks to you guys for having me on, inviting me on. I really appreciate it. It's fun hanging out and chatting with you guys. Weekend, probably Thor, or definitely Thor and some football. And then I got some more house stuff to do. I am way behind on my videos. Probably not going to be any videos for me for a little while, just because I'm trying to do some house stuff and some moving stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely behind. I got a couple I need to do. Definitely got to. Forsaken Near Mint sent me a package that I still have not done a video, and a couple of the tag videos that still need to get to if people even care anymore. So
just make them.
Just make them, man.
just make them like, hey man, look at this video I got going on.
That's right.
We'll all watch it.
Yep.
So, but that's about it for me. And then, like I say, hopefully once this month's over and I get moved and settled, it'll be a little more frequent with videos. But in the meantime, I'll be hanging out in chat and watching everybody's videos and stuff like that. So
Cool.
All right.
A lot of good stuff there. Yeah, I got a couple videos I need to shoot too. Some new stuff. Got some back issues piling up. Gotta show you guys those.
Yep.
So that'll be coming up pretty soon. And then of course Thor this weekend. Big Thor day. It's Thorsday today. And you know what? It's Ragnarok, but it's not the end of the world. We'll be back next week, folks. That's it. This is episode 62 of Common Conversation. Have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody.
see you.